What's up, guys? Welcome back to some more Starfield, and in today's video we're doing Unity, so we're gonna go talk to Keeper Aquilus. Let's see here. Just gonna go ahead and do the fast travel. Do the fast travel. Makes things a little bit easier. Alright.
By the way, Captain, Sergeant Yumi.
Now even the robots are telling me about Sergeant Yumi. Oh my word. Ah, I can't escape him.
Keeper Aquilus, can we have a moment?
Oh, Mateo. It's been too long. How are your parents? Your mother still struggling with that azalea garden?
No, she figured that out a while ago. Had to adjust the pH levels in the soil. But, Keeper, I didn't come to catch up.
Oh, well, what's on both your minds? Oh, yeah. How humanity comes together. How we are to love each other even as our universe becomes even more complex.
That's not exactly what we mean. Keeper, when you talk about unity, well, does it mean anything else? Something secret?
Perhaps you should talk about this inside.
Uh-oh, he knows about something. So I never knew that this was where the Sanctum Universum was. I knew there was a couple of different factions, like in terms of like religions that you could like do quests for. I never knew where they were.
Now that we have a little privacy, why don't you tell me exactly what it is that brought you two here?
They're like nothing we've ever seen, Keeper. Gravitational distortion, sub-audio harmonic sequencing, unidentifiable energy fluctuations.
I caught half of that. So, these things are unusual? Even in your experience? There have always been mysteries that seem to defy our understanding of the universe. Beyond rational thought. We enter life as an act of someone else's faith in us. There's no way of knowing who we will become, and yet the risk is made anyway. So you've pushed into the unknown, not knowing where it would take you. And it's brought you here. I think I can. If you're willing to find your way in the dark for a bit longer, I can give you a path to discovering its meaning. There's an old story. This pilgrim claimed he found the true meaning of unity. I always thought of it as just a parable for trying to bring humanity together, but maybe it's more. In my story, the pilgrim met the founders of the House of Enlightenment and the enigmatic cult of the Varun. And he gave them each a part of the truth. Then he goes to his final resting place.
1 second, guys.
To live.
Alright, guys. Seems like every time I start to do a video, somebody knocks on the freaking door. Doesn't happen any other time. Here by myself, 24/7. Aside from when I'm at work, so not 24/7. But every time I'm sitting down to do a video, someone knocks on the freaking door.
The rest of his days in contemplation of infinitum addendum, his addition or contribution to the infinite. But what if the story isn't a metaphor, but a code, a way of finding the pilgrim again, or at least his grave? Yes, something must be there. I just can't put my finger on it. Maybe the answer will become clear when we have more. The House of Enlightenment and Varun have versions of this story. Because I wasn't looking to find unity in the same sense you are. A fresh set of eyes might reveal the truth. The Enlightened work out of the well here in New Atlantis, helping the poorest citizens find a better life for themselves. Varun worshippers are more enigmatic, but there is a lone zealot that was captured recently for attacking UC ships. I visited her a couple of times. Hopefully, she'll be willing to talk to you as well.
I'll stay here with the Keeper. We need to catch up. And I wouldn't mind asking him a few more questions.
Alright, I wonder if...
The Varun zealot they captured should... Well, we're a newer organization, at least officially. Our facility here in... But we're gaining new members all the time. Keeper by title. But yes, I suppose the title fits. I'm very grateful that I have the opportunity. The Sanctum will always be here for those who seek it.
The first time, I try and take a few trips each year now. No real destination of mine is jumping.
Okay.
Our numbers are growing every year. That first jump, it changes you.
See, I thought you could actually do quests for these different factions, but maybe you can't? Or not factions, but churches, I guess? I don't know. House Varun. I know they don't have any quests, but I think that might come out in the Shattered Space DLC when that drops.
People joke. Say those Varun zealots.
Alright, I think we'll stop in the well first.
Be careful if you run into those ecliptic jerks. They fly around like they own the settled systems. And they like to use old, abandoned facilities as outposts. You know, the ones left over from the colony war.
Welcome to the House of Enlightenment. If it's about the financial or food assistance programs, we are back. Oh, you're not.
The Unity Pilgrim in particular, if that rings any bells.
Listen, I've talked about this with him a ton of times, and there's no record of a Unity Pilgrim. But since you both insist, our early records are mostly administrative. Humanitarian projects, group counseling notes, charity expenditures. But there is a series of exchanges the founding members recorded in a lot of detail. It's the closest thing I have to what Aquilus is describing. A man walks into the first House of Enlightenment. The founding members just call him the Drifter. So they think he's a charity case at first, but no, the Drifter asks them a bunch of questions. If your philosophy is built on an individual's own morality, what about the second person? That second person might disagree. Isn't the problem of two what you're really looking for? And the founders respond, each individual must understand how the second person lifts them up. All of human effort is a story of cooperation pushing us forward. And it kind of goes on like that. He comes back every week for a year. Same conversation every time. Second person this, the problem of do that. It's part of our core principles. There's no God pushing us to do good for some eternal reward. We have to help each other because we choose to. If no one takes responsibility for making the settled systems better, then we're just leaving it to the tyrants to bully the rest of us. Honestly, I think the founding members made it all up. There was a little more hesitation being openly atheist in the early days. I think they were experimenting with writing their own scripture. Fortunately, that got abandoned pretty quick. After the records of the Drifter end, you never see anything like it again. Besides what the Keeper would say about it, sounds like a gathering point, or a center. Or, in mathematics, it would mean one, like the one, the first at the beginning. Always happy to help.
Interesting.
If you'll excuse.
All right, so now talk to the Varun.
When you're not busy, let's chat. Listen, I keep wondering if that made it harder to save Sarah, too. I've replayed those moments in my mind over and over. And you need to know that you did what a leader does. And if it had been me instead of her, I would feel at peace knowing that she made it. I know, but I can't help it. I don't know if you're ready to talk, or if you need 20 years to get to that point, or if you never want to talk about it again. But I just want you to know that if you do, I'm here for you. Sometimes it just comes down to that. It is what it is. You have no reason to lower your gaze. You did what any of us would have done in your place. We all knew this might happen. We are all constellation. When a star goes nova, it can destroy everything nearby, or it can nourish a new era of planets and life and everything that goes with it. The galaxy is littered with the deaths of so many brilliant, wonderful stars. But if stars never went nova, then we wouldn't be who we are now. I didn't. But it is happening, or rather it has happened. It is up to us to make sure it never happens again. Sarah was our leader. She was a light in Aja's eye, and she would tell you right now that this was not your fault. She would want us to focus and solve this problem together. Yes, though an overabundance of caution might be a weakness. You know, we're fortunate. Constellation brought us all together, and we're all better for it. If we're going to set things right, it's going to be because of that.
Damn. You know, I just want to remind everybody that I literally had just married Sarah. Like, quite literally an hour before. So, the fact that she just went up and died... just kind of crazy. I was literally married to her for like 5 minutes. Kind of like that meme of, or that part from Indiana Jones. He chose poorly after what's-his-face drinks from the wrong cup. Well, maybe that's kind of my chose poorly thing.
Every time I see that statue, I feel a little bit more.
What statue? That statue?
Explain why, but I do.
I don't know what he said, but I'll agree with him. He chose poorly.
I think I got them. What do you call them? Horns. Yeah, I got horns.
Yeah?
A visitor? I have all the company I need.
You're bald.
Jokes. You come to hear about Varun. Like the guards. Like the Keeper.
We were going to wait for your book, but it keeps getting delayed.
The Great Serpent waits in the shadows. He will... That is the truth. No more, no less.
You don't need to tell us. We just figured it would be better to ask you directly than to take a second-hand account of your words.
Yes, I have spoken to your keeper about this. I will tell you what I told him, and then you will leave me. Jinan Varun meets the unbeliever. He gives false prophecy to Jinan. But such is Jinan's conviction in the Great Serpent, he does not hesitate. He cuts the unbeliever down. But the unbeliever returns. Jinan realizes the Great Serpent is testing him, and he will not be found wanting. 4 times they fight. Over 120 rotations of the planet they are on. Remember these 4 battles, Jinan, the unbeliever says. Remember these 120 rotations. But Jinan knows this is blasphemy, and delivers the killing blow. That is all. I have heard of no such thing. If it exists, it is a shadow that the Great Serpent casts to deceive the faithless. Then we are done. Leave me.
All right. Return to Keeper Aquilus and possibly go the right direction. Which is this way.
Ah, crime has slowed down. I do. Thanks to you, the spaceport... We've received a tip that someone has been bringing in contraband into New Atlantis through the spaceport, and... Well, technology-wise, criminals have always been one step. Smugglers often have a fancy shielding or scan jammers that allow them to evade the checks. But luckily, we can still... Great. First, speak to one of the technicians over by landing pad B. Ask them if they've noticed any suspicious act. Once you've gotten a lead, cross-reference their testimony with ship records over at Aegis. When you're done, report.
All right, there we go. Hopefully that means no more Sergeant Yumi is looking for you.
Oh yeah, that's UC Security. They're busier than normal these days, it seems.
Yeah, thanks, Barrett. I kind of know. Kind of know that. Alright. Keeper Aquilus. We shall return to you and give you the word that we have figured out, which is not a whole lot of anything, but, you know, hey. Oh.
I'm always ready to make a deal. Well, well, if it isn't the United...
I completely forgot about this.
The higher-ups want to thank you for your dedicated service. It's a premium penthouse at the top of Mercury Tower.
What do you say? It'll just take a second to get you ready.
Great. You're in for a real treat. Okay, you're all set. Your new home's located. You'll love the place. It has a gorgeous floor plan and an unbeatable... Now that you're an owner, I'm sure.
Building materials added to ship's hold. Alright, yeah, I completely forgot about that. I just happened to see the realty sign when I was running over it. 3-star. 3-star embassy.
Oh, you're back. planets are often named by number. What else did you learn? If there really is a location the Pilgrim wanted us to find, was there anything else? Yes. What he added to infinity. Maybe that points to a name. If we're looking for his resting place, we'd need to know the name. Let's see. We have something that could be coordinates. Something that could point to an infinitum addendum. What if we break down the parts? No systems named finite or add. That just leaves in and dumb. Well, that's certainly how I feel. Well, I suppose that'll make someone laugh. Yes, that's it. The second planet in Indum. At 4 and 120. That's where... And from there, maybe you'll... Before you go, you've now spoken to many different perspectives. I know you're looking for a specific unity, but if you had to guess what it was, what interpretation would you give it? Ah, but what makes something like that holy? Gravity is also a force that brings things together. Should that be sanctified? It is one of the great contradictions of belief. We feel the presence of something out there, but we insist that it is also everywhere. So you think this word unity describes that divine unknowableness that the Pilgrim searched for?
Yes.
We're mostly interested in your thoughts.
Well, I won't keep you any longer. This has been fun, I have to admit. Go, find your truth.
All right.
I hope you find it.
Whoops.
May God go with you.
Okay, so we're going to Indum. System I haven't even been to yet. Alright, let's see here. Alright, Barrett, let's go. Let's find ourselves a pilgrim. Uranium. It's radioactive. Radioactive. I wish you could scan, as long as it turns blue, I wish you could scan it. I think that works a little bit better. Because, you know, I mean, you already know it's something scannable, so why not? Toad-face grazer. I mean, if you already know it's scannable, why not have the range to scan it? Oh, it does kind of look like a toad. Okay, the planet, it's literally raining on this planet. I think that should automatically count as H2O. Dude, I love the drum beat. I wish that it was a little bit stronger, but like it just sounds good. It's fire rate's just so much fun. I know we're getting a little far from our spot, but that's a Starborn ship. I mean, it's an old settlement.
There are many more freezing worlds than cozy ones. You'd think we'd take care of the cozy ones more.
At last, a bit of peace, a piece of peace. Is that anything? Is that funny? Why am I trying to be funny? Have they driven me mad at last? Is there a difference between writing to myself and talking to myself? The former certainly seems more acceptable than the latter. I recall again that my mind is my own, and that even if only it exists, that is sufficient for me to believe in everything else. The unity has restored me once more. This time I act alone, for now. Myself is a formidable opponent. I should have expected as much, but vanity is, thankfully, not among my vices. Regardless, it turns out time spent in solitude is, in my case, time with a very sick man, or whatever it is I've become. I don't like this person. Today, in a soft voice, my assistant asked me if there was anything above the unity. It was all I could do to keep from shouting that I could scarcely comprehend the misunderstanding that would lead to such a question. It was asked honestly, and I answered as best I could, but if even my closest confidant here can fail to grasp the most basic of these truths, why am I bothering to explain any of it to any of them? Every word that drops from my mouth gets gobbled up, misheard, misremembered, misunderstood, and mistranslated before I can issue the slightest clarification. People are necessary, but people are madness. I attempted to withdraw, to go off alone, to commune with the unity in my own way. They followed. Of course they followed. So here's the crux of my troubles. To accomplish anything, I need to work with other people. I need assistants. I need workers. I need hands. As we work together, they inevitably ask questions, and I can never help talking. It starts innocently enough. They want to understand how someone who believes in science can also believe in the divine, or they have their own misunderstanding instilled by some borderline religious remnant. My weakness is my inability to let alone. I want them to understand, so I try, gently as I might, to nudge their minds along the right path. Then there are follow-ups and followings. The trouble is that I genuinely care for these people. It would be so much easier if I didn't. The credulous simplicity of mundane humans never cease to amaze me. My worst instincts, the evil spirit, draw me towards a form of contempt for them, but I remember that I am privy to that which they are not. I cannot and should not judge them for the lack of vision, when I know very well the blinders which obscure their sight. I once wore them myself, after all. I hope for their sake that they may someday understand, but for my sake I wish to be left alone. I find myself thinking about his various pasts and possible futures. I imagine continuing on the road, acquiring more power and more knowledge, more development of myself. I imagine passing through once more to another world to begin the process anew. What is noticeable here, that road does seem gratifying. Every step is one intrinsic reward. I feel myself anticipating the pleasures of seeing a more contented version of myself in the future. Then, for the sake of considering all possibilities, I imagine if I took a different path, if I stopped running, stopped seeking to gather my own power, I instead embraced the twinges of compassion I feel in my heart, and let myself care for the people who seem to gather about me wherever I work. If I simply lived and taught and perhaps brought others to the light and died, that road also seems gratifying. I also see a contented version of myself in that future. Here's the difference, though. When I stop thinking about the glories I could achieve for myself, the pleasure fades nearly immediately. When I stop thinking about staying and building something, the feeling endures. There's something more sustaining about it, more fulfilling. I didn't know the difference. I don't know what this difference signifies, but I'm grateful for the time I've taken to notice it. This all looks like the armor from... That's very hard to read. Okay. Permanently increases EM damage by 5%. You know, I really wish I could use that. But I got... You know, I got way more powerful weapons. I don't know what the corrector is. I don't know what the correct answer is. I might never. Increasingly, though, I am comfortable with not knowing. The more I reflect on being here in this world, in this time, the more I think it is precisely where I need to be. This time will be different. It won't be about me, so I won't have to run. I can actually build something with intent instead of scrambling to fix something that others create in my name. It can be something beneficial. I can be something beneficial. I'm leaving behind that other person. This world has no place for him. Let him die. Let me live to enlighten the blessed universe before me. You have found the end of my journey, but to know everything, you must find its beginning. On Hyla 2, the island hides the scorpion. The scorpion's sting hides the truth. Alright. So we need to go to Hyla 2. Okay. Hyla's kind of far out there. Got a sensor contact, though. We gotta go check out the sensor contact first. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. I'm gonna look it up. Let's see here.
Well, if it isn't my favorite walking paycheck. Need something?
Okay, so sensor contacts are apparently usually just shipping crates from what it seems like, according to the good old Reddit. For like actual ancient ruins. For actual, like, I guess, things to happen, you have to be on the, like, it has to say something like hostile activity or something like that. At least that's what the Reddit says. Beryllium. I'll definitely take the beryllium. Yeah, no, beryllium turns out is one of those things that you kind of actually need. All right, let's land and see where this takes us. Oh, that's not... Wow, that's cool. There's a nice alien bug waiting for me to get off my boat.
Life faces some of the same sorts of challenges everywhere. I'm forever fascinated by the convergence of those solutions. Those are Starborn ruins. You see that, right? We have to get a close-up of that statue. Wow.
Is this bug leading me to the ruins? Like, it's kind of weird that it's going the same direction. Oh, wait, hold on. Go to the last star, the Scorpius.
You weren't invited to this meeting, but much of our conversation has been about you. It's only fitting you should join us. I will personally guarantee your safety as long as you come in peace.
And think of it as a ceasefire meeting. Your one shot at getting those answers you must desperately want. Not a bad description, actually.
We'll explain.
Let's just say they're very dedicated to stopping me from getting the artifacts. So if you don't trust me...
I know your encounters with our kind have not been pleasant, but we are here.
Good. See? We can all get along. For now.
Alright, so... Curious to see...
Hello. Again. emissary, perhaps? And their ship, the Helix. I believe they ambushed you above Neon and demanded that artifact you worked so hard to gain.
Oh, you mean the one that I blew up?
Thank you for the stellar introduction. Your success is unprecedented. Before you came, we were just discussing how continued use of force against you is unwise. Yes, we did. We are not a monolithic people. The Starborn are individuals. Some are united in cause. Others are in it for themselves.
We are all in it for ourselves. Some of us are just more honest. The emissary threatened your ship, demanded you hand over your artifact. How is that so different from what I did?
We needed to warn you off. Every encounter with one of our kind could spell disaster.
For whom, exactly? I say whoever can collect them should. Yes. Let's talk about what really matters.
The Unity. You are on the path to it. It is a place, a gateway. It is where we were reborn.
You've really come a long way since the Welcome to Constellation speech, haven't you? I'm not who you think I am. This universe is only the first one you've been to. I've seen hundreds. Where I came from, I was the one who stayed at the lodge to protect the artifacts. You died on board the Eye while we held off the Hunter.
One of me, at least.
I collected the remaining artifacts, and they opened the way to the center of my universe, and the doorway to an infinite number of others. That is the Unity. When I stepped into it, I became a Starborn. It's how I've entered other worlds, including yours. They are all connected. I have to. This is bigger than all of us. All the artifacts are needed to complete the armillary and open the way to the Unity. In every universe, the Starborn fight over them. Innocent people die. You've witnessed the power granted by the temples, the anarchy that can be unleashed. Someone has to decide who should get them.
Here it comes. The emissary tells you only the worthy should enter heaven.
You're twisting what I mean.
They're hypocrites. They use the chaos caused by the hunt for the artifacts to establish an order where they decide who's worthy. I attacked your lodge.
You can actually kind of see his mouth moving if you look at his visor.
You got away. That wasn't some morality play. You didn't survive because of righteousness. You won because of persistence, luck, and skill. As I have done countless times.
I was also human once. But what does it matter who or what I was when eternity is within your grasp? You're learning. My other self wants you to walk the path he walks, to give up, to appreciate the universe you have. Easy for a person who's seen everything, done everything. I think you should see it for yourself.
You've never come this far. Not in all the universes I've seen. The path to the Unity is opening to you.
You're going to tip the scales one way or another. Better your hand be on one of our sides.
You're already in it. With artifacts comes Starborn searching for them, fighting over them. I want a truce between all three of us. Give you some time to think over which approach to the Unity is the one you want. Mine, or the Hunters.
Yes. Let's see how willing you are to live under someone else's rules. Just remember, one of us isn't trying to judge you.
Okay, well...
I'm sure I know we are not the same people we met in our universes. Still, it is good to see you again, old friend. It's not an easy experience to describe, but the Unity will speak to you. You will be leaving this universe behind to be reborn. Maybe that's why it offers the choice. Different. I never know who you are when I meet a new version, but so much. It's hard. But each universe is precious in its own way. Mine will never. You've seen the terror the Hunter causes. Every time a Starborn goes through the Unity, they get... We can't let more like him abuse these gifts to destroy whatever's in their way. When all the artifacts are assembled, the device they create is called the Armillary. In many ways, it's a model of the multiverse itself. Through it, you can reach the Unity.
Okay. Mr. Hunter?
You might think the emissary is on your side, but your persistence is what forced them to tell you the truth. Remember that. Whoever created the artifacts and built those temples is playing a game with us. One whose prize is access to the center of all creation. There are no rules. Whoever gets all the pieces wins. I don't kill for the Unity. I've simply found that it's the quickest way. Talking, forming alliances, waiting for... I'll admit, you getting away has been the most interesting thing to happen in quite some time. As soon as I realized what had happened, I knew I needed to wait until this meeting with the emissary to decide what to do about you. To see what would happen, of course. You might not understand. Usually, you're the one who ends up dead, and whoever cries over your body goes on to become the emissary. Sometimes I manage to get you all bunched up and take care of the problem in one go. Sometimes hundreds and hundreds of variations of me, hacking through Constellation. And it's almost never you. You making it to your ship on your own. It's new. I took it as a sign. I don't get many of those anymore. They enter the Unity, take artifacts from others, employ force. All the things I do. I am many things, but I would never tell anyone what to do with their gifts. That is your decision, not someone else's. The emissary wants to become the judge of who gets to it. No, we always end up having this meeting at this time. But it's the usual affair. Can we make peace? No. Oh, how tragic. Honestly, I was beginning to wonder why I kept attending. And it's a bad habit I started a long time ago. Perhaps I just like meeting the emissary to gloat. But you have provided something quite new to talk about. Maybe you're a random die roll. Or maybe the Unity is finally responding to all my hard work.
Let's,
Before you leave, I want to give you something. A way to another artifact, but also a lesson in how dangerous they can be. Seek the moon of Old Earth. There are secrets there you must discover for yourself. Here, to open the way. Yes. I do not always know if you are a person I have also found that advice is a poor substitute. You should also talk to your colleagues in Constellation. I am sure they have gathered. Part of me wonders what they will all say about what you have learned. But...
Alright, complete in their footsteps. Alright guys, I think that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Next episode we will go to, I guess, the Nova Galactic. Hold on, let's just take a look at what we got here. So we got 2 quests. Nova Galactic and then Return to the Lodge. So I think we'll do Final Glimpses first. And then we'll go do the Unearthed next episode as well. Hope you guys are enjoying this. Be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys next time.